Welcome to Homemaking with Mima. If you're new here, my name is Wendy. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a chat in regards to some of the issues that have been going on because of the government shutdown and the apparent panic state that not only is the news putting people into, but also other YouTubers as well. And so I just want to have a little talk with you. And so if you're interested, please stay along. Okay, so I purposely do not watch the news. I don't even watch it for the weather anymore because it just sucks the life right out of you. It just seriously does. Is it important to know what's going on in the world? Yes, it is. If you really need to know that bad, you don't need to turn your TV on and have this big, huge screen, because most of us have big screens now, and have it throwing all this negativity and disheartenment at you. You just don't need it. And I like to watch YouTube. I have many YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to, and most of them I've been subscribed to for over 10 years or so. There's been 2 of them that I have now unfollowed because they are putting people in the state of a panic in regards to using their YouTube channel in that sense. And to me, you're just putting people into a panic that is unnecessary. And you're making money off of it because these 2 YouTubers that I'm, informing you about, I'm not going to give out their names. I'm not going to give out their channels. They're, in a sense, stating that they're using it as a preparedness. Okay, there's nothing wrong with getting a preparedness out there. But when you use your titles in that as a state of panic to these people, to you people, that's just, it's wrong. That is so wrong in my eyes. All right, so enough of that rant. So what I want to do is, I was a single mother back in the 90s, and I worked part-time. I had went on to a technical college to go to school. I was receiving some child support at that time, nothing steady. I was refused food stamps. Back then they were called food stamps. Now it's called SNAP. They were actually, it's like paper money, like your Monopoly money back in the day. I was refused that. So I had to learn to make food stretch. Now, granted, the cost of the food back in the 90s was nothing like it is today. And it just breaks my heart to see where it's come to, what it's come to. But also, wages weren't as high either. So we have to take that into account as well. Now, I know there's a lot of people that there's so much panic going on, and there's stuff going all over on Instagram and, all the social media channels. I don't even have, yeah. Anyway, there's no need to panic. You will be okay. The first thing you need to do is in your local area, is to find out through either churches or neighbors or anyone that knows of food shelves. Every area has some sort of a food shelf, whether that be in a church or it's actually a food shelf building itself. And I know that these places, they're aware of what's going on, because in our area, the company that runs the food shelves in our area are aware of it, and they are subsidizing for it. I don't know how they're doing it, but anyway, that's the first thing you need to do. And the second thing you need to do is maybe now is the time, if you don't cook, if you don't cook, now's maybe the time that you need to learn how to do a little bit of something. Like, instead of buying your boxed hamburger helper, maybe buy a 5-pound of hamburger and learn to make that stretch and make your own hamburger helper and your own goulash and that sort of thing. So, all right. So there it is, food shelves. And turn to your family. turn to your family and say, you know what, I'm in need. I need to get by for another week, 2 weeks. Can you give me, because more than likely you're not going to be able to pay back any money if you borrow money. Can you give me some money? And if they don't want to actually give you money, you can ask, say, can you get me a gift card to, a local grocery establishment that's near you? Aldi's, Walmart, any of that, they all have gift cards. So that's a good thing as well. All right, I'm going to wrap this yakking up, and I am going to go into my laptop, and I'm going to insert some prices of the food that I am seeing right now. And it's actually prices that we've been paying for a short time here. So it's not like it's a total shock to people. Prices have been up for, over a year. And none of us like it. But you know what? We're going to learn to live with it. Let's just learn to live with it and not get your anxiety up there. Okay. So with further ado, I'm going to get into more of and I'm going on the Walmart.com. So you're aware of that. You go into, everyone has a phone, everyone has internet. You can't tell me you don't, because I know everyone pretty much does nowadays. And you can go in and you don't even have to drive to these facilities to find out prices. You can look it up online in your area. So you can't tell me that you can't do that. And I also want to say here too as well, let's remember to let's check in on our seniors, okay? Our seniors are ones that are not going to say anything to anyone when they're in need of something. And right now, they may not even get food stamps, but maybe, I don't know, but let's just keep an eye out for our seniors as well and make sure that they have plenty of food as well, okay? So here we go. So in the Walmart.com, it's just a generic area. I don't have my area in there. Looks like the 3-pound chicken breasts are on a rollback right now. So they're $8.94 from $9.94. Now, I understand that's a lot of money. And but you know what? You can make this stretch. And here, I have videos on the two of these at how much meat I got off of them. And so here is the chicken thighs for a 4-pound. And here is a 4-pound of chicken drumsticks. So the drumsticks would probably be your better value. Because when I did the two of them, the drumsticks had about just as much meat on it as the chicken thighs did. And this is bone in. Boneless would be totally different. So now, with the chicken, you can make a big pot of chicken Alfredo. And, you decide what you want to spend. But these are different sizes as well. And you can always use milk to thin it out some, to make it stretch. You don't want to use a lot. But I know these Alfredo sauces, and that's all the Alfredo sauces, they're pretty thick. So you could probably use some milk to thin it out to the consistency that you want. And all you need is any kind of noodle. You don't even need to use a spaghetti noodle. But the price of the spaghetti noodles and elbow noodles and any of that are all pretty much the same right now. So here we are. You have your 16-ounce pasta, 98 cents. You got the half links. Here you have a 2-pound for $1.94. And, if you want, your better value would probably be the larger ones. However, it all depends on how much money that you have. I mean, seriously, I totally understand. You might only be able to afford that 98-cent box, but you know what? We're going to make that stretch, okay? You get that bag of chicken drumsticks. You get the container of greater value Alfredo sauce, a cheaper one, cheap one. And then you get the 98-cent spaghetti. You put a little milk in with it, make it stretch. It's going to make the sauce stretch. You can add corn to this. You can add frozen corn or canned corn. I know it doesn't seem, that's not really something that you would find in a chicken Alfredo, but you know what? It'll make it stretch. That will make it stretch. Now, the last time that I looked at Walmart, the Hunt's spaghetti sauce was the cheapest. It's 24 ounces. It's $1.58. I believe at the Dollar Trees, it might be $1.50 now instead of $1.25. So if you have a Dollar Tree next to you, it's going to be cheaper if you go to the Dollar Tree to get it. Grab a couple cans. But you can, and grab one that's got seasoning in it, like the 4 cheese or the garlic and herb. As far as the meat, there's no, I've never liked getting something that says it's got meat in it because, yeah, I'm not going to go down that road. But anyway, you can get spaghetti noodles, make yourself spaghetti. You can get elbow noodles and you can turn it, instead of calling it a spaghetti, it's a different shaped pasta. You can call it a goulash. You can get a small can of diced tomatoes and put that in there and, like the stewed tomatoes, and call that a goulash. And you can get quite a few meals out of that. If you get a couple cans of these and a big box, let's look up the elbow noodles. Okay, so the cheapest elbow noodles right now is a 16 ounce for 98 cents. You easily could get 2 cans of the Hunt spaghetti sauce, and you cook this whole box of the 16 ounce. You can throw frozen green beans in with this, or you can throw frozen corn or the canned. It's all up to you. Make it stretch a little bit more. You could eat for a whole week on that. Seriously, you could. Would it be repetitive and you're going to get bored of it? Yes. But you know what? You're going to fill tummies. That's all that matters right now, is filling tummies. Okay. Hamburger used to be like one of the cheapest meats that anyone could ever purchase. And you could make it stretch forever. Because you could buy like a 3-pound. Here's a 3-pound right now. This is the greater value. And I don't even know what it's a 73% lean. 3 pounds, $16.94. Is that ridiculous? Yes. But it's today's day. So don't argue about it. Just deal with it. You could make this 1 pound of burger stretch. You easily could. Remember, we just said we were talking about the Hunt spaghetti sauce and the elbow noodles, or you can make spaghetti out of it. And you could add the ground burger, and that would make it stretch even more and make it more filling. You could take this ground meat, cook it up. You could make tacos out of it. I believe taco packets you can get like 49 cents. And you can make that stretch by adding a can of beans into it. There's all kinds of things that you can do to make food stretch, so that you're not going to go hungry, okay? It's just, you have to be creative. And I know we've lost hindsight of that. We're just not as creative anymore. And we've done that to ourselves. We really have done that to ourselves. And here is the bread. Yes, bread has gone up. And when you buy store bread, it is going to have preservatives in it. So it is going to last a little longer, okay? You could make your own bread if you know how to do that. There's plenty of videos out there. I will put in the description box below a video of a bread recipe that my family likes. But I know a lot of people have never worked with yeast and have never, the kneading thing and all that. So I understand that. Purchasing bread. So right now it's $1.42. There's no making bread stretch. Maybe eat 1 slice, instead of 2 when you have a sandwich is my only suggestion there. But I just thought I'd get on here and show the price of the bread at the Walmarts. So I know I was just talking about bread, and I forced myself to learn how to make homemade bread 5 years ago, and I'm 60. So yes, I took advantage of the stores as well. But I always wanted to learn how to make bread, and yeah, it's a trial and error. But yes, I made this beautiful loaf today. I will have the recipe for this in the description box below, but let me cut it open and I'll show you the crumb on the inside. I had to face it up towards the light. So here's the crumb, a beautiful, beautiful crumb. Nice and soft. I put butter on the outside when it came out, so it's gonna keep it soft. Now I'm gonna put it into, I'm gonna eat this one because, yeah, I love homemade bread. The butt part of it. I don't like store-bought ends, but I like homemade ones. But yeah, I'm going to cut up a few pieces and put it in my Tupperware containers so that, because my family has a hard time cutting. So I'm going to cut up a few for them so that they don't hack it. But yeah, you can do it. You can make your own bread, people. What I mean by Tupperware container, I guess I had to explain myself here, is I have one of these older celery containers. Fits bread perfectly. And then I also want to show you, look at my horrible hack job I did. So I can't hark my family. This I cut. I'm not feeling great today, but I can do better than that. But I'm going to admit, I cut it bad. So I popped back in here. It just popped into my head before I was going to move on. If you go to near your the Walmart bakery area, they always clearance out some of their breads. So instead of buying this bread here, you could probably find a French bread. They're smaller, but you could find a French bread. It all depends on when they've pulled it. I've seen it as low as 47 cents for a loaf of French bread because of the date on it. Okay, they pull them and they clearance them because it's close to being expired or it is expired. But usually they're like $1. So I think they're like $1.40 something now. The bakery breads, French breads used to be $1. But go to that area, you can find clearance buns, hoagie buns, brat buns, hamburger buns, dinner rolls, the French bread, all of those things. Just go over there when you do go in to peek, and the best time to do it is right away in the morning. If you are working during the day and you think you're going to find something, you're probably not going to find the good deal. The better deal is usually in the morning, and it gets nabbed up really quick. So just keep that in mind as well. But they do fill those clearance bakery racks daily because they have to go through their breads and their bakery goods and check the dates on a daily basis. I know this because I worked at Walmart. All right, if you're looking for a sweet treat, the greater value cake mixes are $1.12. And you don't have to just make it into a cake. You know, you can make a 9x13 cake. You can make muffins out of it. And you can freeze part of it, you know, so then you don't have to worry about them being eaten up all right away. But their cake mixes are pretty cheap. And you know what? You don't need frosting. Just call it a snack cake. We're going to have snack cake tonight. Most snack cakes don't have any frosting on it at all. If you have powdered sugar, you can shake some powdered sugar on there. But I am telling you right now, there's times I don't have frosting and I don't feel like digging the powdered sugar out. So we just eat it cooked. We don't have to worry. We don't worry about frosting. But it satisfies our sweet tooth. Another sweet treat idea, which is very inexpensive and very easy to do. Everybody can do it. Jell-O. 98 cents for a box of Jell-O. And you can get sugar-free if you don't want the sugar. And there's all kinds of flavors. They have a family size as well on just certain ones. So you have to look. And sorted flavors. See, here's some of the sugar-free. I know it has all them dyes and everything in it. But yeah, and let me look up the puddings. Okay, I had to take the Jell-O out of there and put in just pudding, the greater value pudding mix. And then it brought up all the flavors that they offer here. And you just need milk with this to make this. Jell-O, you just need water. With this, you need some milk. And it's a great, inexpensive, easy to make sweet treat. And if you don't have a mixer, you can actually do the pudding mix and that by hand if you have a whisk. I have done it because mixer has broken. So I've had to use a whisk. All right, here's some instant potatoes. They're $1.88, and it's for a 13.75 ounce. One thing I did back in the day, not so much the mashed potatoes, but au gratin potatoes and scallop potatoes, and what other kind of potatoes? I think it was like the julienne potatoes, which I don't see here. They have a 3 cheese here now. I used to actually, if I bought a roast and I would cook the roast, we'd eat that as a meal. And then the next day I would take that roast and I would cut the roast into chunks, and I would intermix it with the scallop potatoes or the au gratin potatoes, and that would stretch that roast out as another extra meal. Or ham, you can buy ham steaks. If you don't want to buy a ham steak, you can actually buy the inexpensive deli meat ham, and you can cut that up and put it in there as well. But it's just an idea to help make things stretch here. And of course, your good old cream soups that used to be a lot cheaper than 70 cents. But you know what? That's okay. That's all right, people. You take your cream soup and you have some cooked up hamburger, or you have some cooked up chicken. You know, leftovers are perfect. Mix it together with the cream soup. If you have any kind of noodles at all, egg noodles, elbow noodles, any kind of shape of noodle, even spaghetti noodles, or break them down. You don't need to keep them long. Break them down into little chunks. And there you go. You have your own homemade casserole, either a chicken casserole, a hamburger casserole, turkey meat. You know, you can get the ground turkey. That's pretty inexpensive. Let me see if I can find that on here. Okay, I'm thinking it's something close to this. It was bringing up all the Jenny O stuff and that was way too expensive. It says here that they're out of stock somewhere, wherever this is connecting to. But your frozen ground turkey meat, you could use that instead of the burger, because it is a lot more cheaper. As you can see, it's $1.98, and that's probably why it's out of stock, because that's all people can really afford right now. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. All right, I am done showing you some ideas here and giving you some suggestions. I know it's probably not really that helpful, but it's just an idea of go online, look things up, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. All right, I am going to wrap this up. I hope it was helpful to just one person out there. I know people in other countries, you're not going through any of this right now, but maybe you have other things that you go through that's kind of similar to this. I don't know. My biggest thing is, in order to save money, people, you need to learn how to cook. It's plain and simple. There's some people out there, they just hate cooking. They just do not like to cook. I understand that. But if you want to save some money, or if you want to make things stretch, you're going to need to learn how to cook. And if you don't want to learn it and watch YouTube channels, or, go to family members to help you learn how to cook, if you know how to read, you can read a cookbook. So go to a thrift store and get a cookbook, because they're pretty cheap there at a thrift store, instead of buying one brand new. All I'm giving is just a few little ideas out there. But we don't need to be in a state of panic. One thing I am going to say is, God knows what's going on, and he will always watch out for us. So just keep that in mind, and just pray for the situation at hand, that it will subside. Okay? If you folks like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and I want you folks to make it a really great day.